an employee can enter a timesheet, they need at least one shift to enter it against. Shifts live under company, then shifts, and everything in this tutorial is built on them. The employee picks one when they enter their hours, and Lightning Payroll uses the same shift when it turns those hours into a rostered shift and then into a pay. Let's set up the two shifts Tara works. Choose Add New to create the first shift. Give it a description your staff will recognize because this is the name they'll see in the portal. Set the start and end times to the shift's usual span. These become the default times when someone enters a timesheet, and they can adjust them if the day ran differently. Note the break duration starts at 24 minutes, which is the Lightning Payroll default rather than anything we've chosen for you, so set it to whatever this shift really gets. This one is a short morning prep shift with no break, so we'll clear it to 0. Last, set the default pay rate to ordinary time. Don't skip that one. It's the setting that tells Lightning Payroll how to pay the hours when they come in from a timesheet, and without it, the hours arrive with nothing to pay them at. Further down the form is the employee list. Every employee in your company is listed here with a switch beside their name, and switching one on is what makes this shift available to that person, both on the roster and in their portal. If you ever hear that an employee can't find a shift to enter their hours against, this switch is almost always the reason. We'll switch Tara Mitchell on, and you'll see her row highlight to confirm it. Then save. Now, the second shift. Tara comes back for evening service, so we'll add an evening service shift running from 5 until 9, with a 15-minute break, and tick her again. Two separate shifts on the one day is what payroll calls a split shift, and setting it up as two shifts rather than one long one is what lets you see each block's real hours later on. With the shifts in place, we can let Tara enter her own hours. The portal settings live under Employees. Open Employees from the menu on the left. Choose the employee you want from the list, then open the Details section and pick the Online Portal tab. That's Employees, then Details, then Online Portal. This tab is where you switch the portal on for someone and choose what they're allowed to do in it. Start by ticking Activate this employee's online portal. Two things happen when you save. Lightning Payroll sets up their portal account and emails them a setup link so they can choose their own password, and the rest of the portal permissions appear here for you to choose from. Set the permissions now, in the same visit, rather than coming back later. It saves you a second trip. Now tick Allow employee to edit their timesheet. Notice the note beside it. Turning timesheets on turns time clock mode off. That's deliberate because the two are different ways of recording the same thing. Time clock mode has the employee clock in and out live, and the times are stamped as they happen. Timesheet mode lets them type the hours they worked afterwards, which suits staff who aren't at a device when their shift starts. You choose one or the other per employee. Save, and the activation and the permissions go across to the portal together. Here's the same company from Tara's side. This is the employee portal, which your staff reach with their own username and password. They never see your payroll, only their own details. Tara opens timesheets from her menu. The from and to dates default to the pay period you're currently working on, so what she sees lines up with the pay you're about to run. She can move the range with the arrows if she needs to look back, and the reset link brings her back to the current pay run. Add timesheet opens one entry. She picks the shift, and the start time, end time and break fill in from the shift we set up. So on a normal day, she only needs to check them and save. Today, the morning prep shift ran to plan, 6 until 10 with no break. Break minutes is where she tells you about any unpaid break she took, and it's the figure that comes off her paid hours, so it's worth telling your staff to fill it in honestly rather than leaving it at 0. Save, and the entry appears in her time clock history. Nothing has reached your pay yet? This is her record of the day, waiting for you to review it. She came back for evening service, so she adds a second entry for the same day against the evening service shift, 5 until 9, with the 15-minute break she took. 2 entries on one date is completely normal for a split shift. The portal flags that there are 2 or more shifts on the same date. That's a heads up, not an error. It's there to catch the common mistake of entering the same shift twice. A genuine split shift like this one is fine, and both entries will come through to you. Back on your side. Open rosters, choose time clock/portal sync, then import and manage shifts. This is the review screen for everything your employees have clocked or entered for the pay period. Nothing here has touched your pay run yet. You decide what comes in. The column to trust is hours worked, and it shows you its own arithmetic. Tara's evening entry reads 3 hours 45 minutes, and underneath, 4 hours on the clock, less 15 minutes break. That's the answer to the question we're asked most often about this screen. The break always comes off, so the hours you see here are the hours you'll pay. You never need to work it out yourself. If the figure says rounded, your time clock rounding options have adjusted it. There's a button for those at the top of this screen. Because Tara worked twice that day, each of her entries also carries a day total, and the date is tagged with the number of entries. 7 hours 45 minutes is her real total for the day across both blocks. Without that, a split shift means adding the rows up by hand, and it's easy to short pay someone or pay them twice. The count in the summary at the top tells you how many days in this period have more than one entry. If something's wrong, fix it in the row. Say Tara actually stayed until 9:30. Click straight into her finish time, change it, and click away. The hours recalculate as you go, and the change is saved for you. This only affects what gets imported into your pay run. Her own record of what she submitted is untouched, so you always have both. Breaks work the same way, and you can either type the length or pick it from the clock. The figure is a duration rather than a time of day, so 0 hours 30 means a 30-minute break. Change it and watch the hours worked drop by the same amount. Import rules is worth knowing about before you import. The first group decides which entries you see, so if this screen ever looks emptier than you expect, check here first. The second group only matters when you've already rostered the shift. You can tell Lightning Payroll to keep your rostered start and finish times instead of the employees, and even limit that to when they clocked on early or stayed late. Leave them off, and the employee's own times are used, which is what most people want. Tick the entries you want, and the button tells you how many you're bringing in, along with the hours those entries add up to. An entry that matches a shift you've already rostered for that employee on that day replaces it. Anything else is added as a new rostered shift. We'll import both of Tara's entries now. And there they are on the roster planner. 2 real rostered shifts on the one day, drawn at the times Tara actually worked. This is the point where her timesheet becomes yours. From here on, it behaves exactly like a shift you rostered by hand, and you can print it, email it, or adjust it. Edit Shifts gives you the same 2 shifts as a list, with the break and the duration for each. Duration is already net of the break, matching what you saw on the review screen. If you need to change a time now that it's rostered, this is the place. And anything you change here flows through to the pay. Now the pay itself. Open Pays and choose the employee for this pay period. Lightning Payroll builds the pay from the roster, so the hours from Tara's 2 shifts are already in front of you. You didn't type a single one of them. And here are the hours. 8 hours of ordinary time, sitting in the pay ready to be paid. 4 from the morning shift and 4 from the evening one after the finish time. And break we corrected. Nobody typed any of it in. That's the whole point. The employee records what they worked, you check it and adjust anything that's wrong, and the pay builds itself from what you approved. From here, the pay behaves like any other. You can add an allowance, adjust the tax, or enter leave, and the hours stay as the roster set them unless you change them yourself. To see exactly where those hours came from, open the roster shift summary. It lists every shift that built this pay, with the date, the shift name, and the hours, so you can check a pay against what your employee actually submitted without leaving the screen. That's the whole journey: your shift setup, the employee's own entry in the portal, your review and import, a rostered shift, and a pay you can stand behind.